Hello and welcome to the Budget Knitter podcast channel. My name is WSpargurKnits. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs, Princess and Duchess. And today we are doing another yarn review. And today it is on Red Heart Hygge yarn. This was recommended to me by Marley Bird of the Marley Bird podcast. She is the national spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns. I met her at Stitches SoCal and again at Stitches West, and this was a yarn she recommended to me. And I'm going to tell you, I usually don't give you my initial idea about a yarn like right at the beginning of the video, but I love this and we're going to go more into depth as to why. But first, I know you guys are going to want to know the specifications. Red Heart Hygge, Hygge. It is one of the European languages, Swedish, Norwegian, something like that, but it's pronounced Hygge. And the ball, one ball, is 5 ounces or 141 grams. It is 132 yards or 121 meters. It is a number 5 bulky weight yarn, and it calls for a 6.5 millimeter hook, which is a USK 10.5, and it is 11 single crochets and 13 rows in a 4" by 4" or 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter swatch. For the needles, it is also a 6.5 millimeter needle, which is a 10.5 in the US, so it's a US 10.5. And it is 13 stitches and 15 rows in a 4" by 4" or 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter swatch. Machine wash cold, gentle cycle, tumble dry low. It is 70% acrylic and 30% nylon. This yarn is fantastic. This is the colorway Rust. They do come in several colorways, and it is absolutely gorgeous to look at, gorgeous to feel, wonderful to work with. So you can find this at Walmart, I know. I've actually found it there. Not this colorway, which was kind of disappointing. I was hoping I could find this colorway at Walmart, but they didn't have it. I think it is in the $5.99 per ball range. I'm going to say that's an average because Walmart is sometimes cheaper. I believe you can also find this at Michael's, but I don't know how the in-store selection is going to go. Every Michael's here in the greater Las Vegas area carries something different, and it's kind of hit or miss on whether or not you're even going to find it in the store. Last I checked, it was on their website, but their website has been changing a lot in terms of what they carry and what the prices are, and it's not keeping up with what's in the stores. So the Michael's website's getting a little confusing now in terms of what they actually carry and what they don't, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Spinrite, who owns Yarnspirations, which owns Bernat and Karen, has actually purchased Red Heart, or they purchased the company that owned Red Heart, which was Coates and Company. So Michael's now owns, or the company that owns Michael's now owns Red Heart. Or the company that owns Michael's that uses Spinrite, which owns Yarnspirations and Karen and Loops and Threads. And anyway, basically, this should be at Michael's. If it's not in store, check their website. If it's not on the website, I know that if Joann's has it, it's really expensive, and I don't recommend actually getting it from Joann's. But I can't remember if it was on there. I've looked up several different Red Heart yarns recently, and now I'm actually getting a little jumbled, and I apologize for that. I'm usually more prepared. Anyway, this yarn, I have loved working with it. I had 9 balls of it, and so with that much yarn, what else am I going to do but crochet a nice, wonderful throw. And you guys know that when I review a yarn, I like to make something out of the yarn so that you guys get a really nice idea about how I like to use the yarn. So this is a lot larger than you're going to be able to see, but I crocheted, actually I'm going to add, so this ball is the 9th ball. I have 8 balls on here currently. I'm going to add this 9th ball in to complete this throw. It is a crocheted cable throw, so it's all double crochets in the middle sections, and then these are triple crochet cables. And they are front post triple crochets so that they pop and so that they also stretch and don't pull the fabric. Now, this blanket is probably about twin-sized. I know that it fits on top of my twin-size bed, but it doesn't hang over the sides. So it's long. It's definitely more of a lap gown, like a sofa throw. but it's really nice. One of the things that I really like about this yarn is that it's got some weight to it. I like yarns that when you finish making a throw that it's got some weight. I like my blankets to be kind of weighty so that, you know, I feel like I'm being hugged. It's not a substitute for a weighted blanket by any means. Those go up to like 25 pounds or more. This is probably in the 7 to 10 pound range, I think, altogether. Anyway, so this is a really simple design. It's my own design. I'm calling it the 330 throw. 330 as in like time 330, but the reason I'm doing that is because the pattern is 3 sets of 30 stitches. So if you wanted to make this wider and do a 4th cable section, you would just add an additional 30 stitches and follow the pattern as it's written. The pattern is not complete yet because I need to know how many repeats to add to the rows, or how many pattern repeats there are. So as soon as I finish adding the 9th ball, I'll have a better idea of how many to add for that. But it's a great yarn. This was a really fun project. It's a really great blanket. It keeps my legs very toasty, which is really annoying in Vegas because it's already summer here. I used a 6.5mm hook on this, which is what the package called for, which is again the USK. And I have to tell you, this yarn glided across that hook like butter, like warm, like a hot knife through butter. It was just so nice. It did snag a few times. The plies are loose, which kind of makes the chunky, feathery looking consistency of the yarn. But once I really got my groove going, these stitches would just fly off the hook. And it is just so much fun to work with. It is so soft. I never got annoyed with it. I could add a ball of this yarn every day in about an hour and a half. That's about 10 rows of this throw. And of course I'm watching TV or doing something else, so I'm slightly distracted. Not that an hour and a half is by any means slow. I just know that there are some people who are, wow, crazy fast with the hook. I'm not one of those people. I'm a decent speed. Anyway, this throw pattern is going to be available. It'll be free on Ravelry, and I will do a call for testers soon. It's not done yet, so of course I need to write the pattern, but be looking for either a video here or an Instagram post asking for testers for this throw. You will get plenty of time to make it. You don't have to use Hygge yarn. If you don't want to use Hygge yarn, you don't have to, but you can or should use any like chunky weight yarn that you have. That would be a really good, it's just a really fun, quick thing. Also, if you've never done cables, this would be a great opportunity to learn cables, because it's really simple. So, overall, this yarn, fantastic. I love it. It's a great price point. It's probably one of the softest acrylics I've ever used. I love the way it looks all together, and if you go to my Instagram, you can see more photos of this blanket, and I will be posting more photos of this blanket as I continue to finish it and as I block it. Well, I won't do much blocking, but when I get it all said and done and have all the ends weaved in. But yes, Hygge yarn by Red Heart. Again, fantastic yarn, lots of fun colors. It looks gorgeous. It's super soft. It's actually nice and cool to the touch, even though it keeps you nice and warm. It is really cool to the touch, which I like. It's got a nice sheen to it. It really is a great yarn to use for things like throws, or if you need a nice feathery, chunky shawl or something like that. I think it would also make a great chunky hat or scarf. Really anything you can think of that uses chunky yarn, this would be a great option, especially if you're looking for a substitute for a natural fiber. I think this would be a great go-to. It's got some weight. Great yarn, great yarn. Crocheting it was a dream. I did not knit it, but I might knit some in the future, but I'm on a crochet kick right now. So in terms of crocheting, great yarn, absolutely recommend it. Find it at your local Walmart or Michael's. Again, Michael's is probably weird about what they actually have in stock. But I think you're really going to like this yarn, so definitely try it. If you've used it before, leave me a comment and tell me what you've made with it, because I would like to see what other people have done with it. And be looking for the 330 throw pattern that's going to be available on Ravelry. And if you are a crocheter and want to test it, be looking for the call for testers for that as well. So thank you for joining me for this review. I really hope you will go try Hygge yarn by Red Heart, and I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you again very soon here on the Budget Knitter podcast channel. Thanks. Bye.